Hi, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're watching me from. I am Sarah, and this is Synergy Program Managers. Tonight, I want to discuss how to prepare a revised schedule in pieces. So it's beyond discussion, I want to demonstrate it. So sit back and follow this. At the end of this video, you should be able to know how to develop a, a revised plan using basics. So when you follow this video, the things that you need to learn at the end, you'll be able to understand why schedules are revised, what steps to follow while you are revising a schedule. You need to now understand the concept of recovery schedule and a revised schedule. And you have to watch a case study. So the case study I'm using in this video is a case study of a 30-inch valve, 30-inch valve overhaul. So it's not changer, but it is overhaul. So let's go. So in these steps, what are the things that after creating the schedule, how do you revise your schedule? I want to mention it first, then I will demonstrate it. So the steps to revise a schedule. One is confirm that you have extension of time has been awarded. Confirm that extension of time has been awarded. The next is that you review the schedule to check for existing float. Review the schedule to check for establish critical paths and understand the number of days to be added. When your extension of time has been approved, we call it EOT for short. Once that is approved, then you can add it to so you know exactly how many days you're looking at. Then call a controllable schedule. Remember, before you can start talking about revising a schedule, that means the schedule is existing. So for this schedule that we have existing, if you check now, just look at this. I'm not sure we've saved the baseline. So let's check that the baseline is saved or not, right? So yeah, we have a baseline here. We have a baseline, but it's not assigned. Okay, so that's said. That's fine. So just close this. So we're taking this baseline out completely because we don't want to be deceived. Good. So we don't have any baseline here. So for starters, we're going to bring this back because I want us to want to take this start date. Want to take the start date to take it back to 1st of August. So that we want to show you that the project started in the past and not this month, right? So we go back and change this start date. We change the start date to 1st of August. And we change the data date as well to 1st of August. Good. That's done. Come back, then you will still open the project and refresh, or you hit F9. So we're changing it. This is 1st of August already. So good. So that's done. Then the next step that we're going to do now is we need to set baseline because we have not been even able to progress this schedule. Not progressed it. So if you look now, because we've moved it, see our end date. Our finish date is now what? 2nd of October. 2nd of October. So we're going to save this baseline so that we can even start progressing the activity. For this demonstration, I'm going to progress the first and second WBS. That is, this WBS, these operations out activities are mechanical activities. So I'm progressing this to a certain extent for purposes of this demonstration. Now, that said, I'll go back to baseline the schedule before I can start progressing it. So I must baseline my schedule. So to baseline, I just go ahead and add baseline. Okay, I'm fine. So my baseline is set already. My data date is 1st October. My current date, that's the date I saved this baseline, is today. Good. So now that this is done, I can now start progressing my activities. Don't worry, I'll later assign the activity, the schedule, the baseline. Excuse me. So now the columns that I need for this exercise to revise the schedule. So I need my original duration, I need my float, I need my baseline project start, I need my baseline project, this baseline start, baseline duration, baseline project start. I like my dates to be together. Sorry, so I need to bring this here. Baseline project start, baseline project finish, my start and finish date, right? So for now, this is my budget, this is my schedule percent complete, and this is my performance percent complete. So those are the things I'll be looking at right now. So like I said, you look at float because your critical part is activities that have zero float. And when you check, you see that even the project has zero float, so to speak. So let's continue. So where do we, so now we've set the baseline and I want to progress the activities. Like I said, I'm progressing these activities and this, the activities here and the activities here. So we let's continue. So first, I'll progress this first activity. Scaffold is done. I take that it started the same day and I've progressed it 100%. Good. The next activity is, so that's done. The next activity, I'm progressing it to, so it started on the 5th. I take it that there was delay, although it's completed, but it was delayed. That's a valve isolation. They took extra days, right, before they were done. So I'm giving this as my end date. Then the pressurize also took some time. It was to start on the 8th, but it started on the 12th. It started on the 12th, right? And it was meant to happen for 46 hours, for 20 hours, yeah. But so it started on the 12th. So I gave it that it was completed. So on the 12th, we have a start date. Then it was completed on the 14th. So that's fine. Then the next is, so move to remove insulation. Remember the insulation. This is my milestone. This is my milestone. That means this milestone, this phase of this work is completed. So what was the last date that this was completed? That was 14th. So I can put my milestone to be on the 14th. It was completed on the 14th. Good. So the next is your mechanical activities. So this one, insulation can also be, they can be removing insulation while these ones are happening after isolation. So I can prove that, yes, it started on the 5th. It started earlier, so it had an early finish. So I can prove that it started on the 5th. Good. Then, but it took some time instead of finishing immediately because it's still lingering. So let me say it got completed on the 16th, on the 18th, right? So that's done. That's done. Then the next is disconnect instrument tubing. I can give it that it started on the, so it started on the 13th, on the 13th. So it started on the 16th. It started on the 18th. Instrument tubing started on the 18th. And it's supposed to happen a couple of hours. Let's say it was completed the same day. Remember, these are assumptions that but you need the actuals from field, from your particular project that you're working from. These are measurements you get physically from your site. or from your project or your turnaround, whatever manner of projects, even if it's IT projects, IT deployment projects, you can use the same method to do this. So that done, my spading, I just want to quickly progress is spading maybe started on the 20th, right? Started on the 20th and it got done on the 22nd. Then on board valve. So let me tell you that my spading, we've done 50%, right? We've done 50%. Then 50%. Yeah, good. Then on boating we've done 30%. So on boating, let's say on boating started 22nd August, and on boating I've done 30%. 30%. Good. So that's done. So that's sorted. Now we want to revise this schedule. This is in progress activity. Our data date, that is our data date now. Let's take that today is our data date. That's our current date, is our data date. So I'm going to change the data date and I'll save this as a fresh baseline. So that done. I'm going to change the data date. The data date is, what's today's date? Today is 7th of October. 7th of, remember this project was meant to be completed 100%. So now we've been awarded, so this is done. So let's see the impact. I want you to see the impact of what we just did on the schedule. So this is scheduled now, right? Now, if you look at this, you have this start and finish. This start and finish, it's supposed to be. So let me assign the baseline, the previous initial baseline that we saved. Assign baseline. Good. So if you watch this, you see from the plan, the baseline, that's the first place we started from, is 1st of August as start date, 2nd of October as end date. Now, because we have encountered delays while we're doing these activities, our forecast finish is 21st of November. Our forecast finish is 21st of November. Now we have gone to the client to say, clients, there was demonstration at site, community disturbance and what have you, so we cannot continue. There is a force majeure. We cannot continue with this project to arrive at the same date. We've checked our calendar. We can't change shift. The government doesn't allow us to do some things, maybe heavy lifting at night. So we want extension of time based on our contract. Now so what would the client do? What the client has agreed to award you 30 days EOT. Remember, 30 days EOT. Now, your initial schedule, your end date was supposed to be 2nd October. Now, add 30 days to 2nd October. If you add 30 days, so your new end date should be what? 2nd November. And new end date should be 2nd November. But what you're seeing here, forecast date is 21st November. So what it means then is that you need to have a workaround and ensure that your date comes back to 2nd of November. So your new date should be 2nd of November. So you will need to work with that in sight. 2nd November, right? So let's go. So this done, we want to go into the revising the schedule proper. How do we do this? First, you need to remove your baseline, the baseline that we assigned. Remove it. Good. So that done, you need to concentrate on, there are two categories of activities you're dealing with here. Now, in this process, I'm going to use the process of breaking an activity to do this revision. In my next video, I will show you the process of using resume and suspend to do this same thing. So we have different methods. So I'm showing you one method of breaking those splitting the activities. But the next one will be using resume and suspend. So let's go ahead. So first of all, you're going to look at your activities, because you have two categories of activities that should bother you here. And they are one is your activities that are already in progress. They have start dates, but they've not been completed. Then the next one are your activities that you've not started at all. The activities that you have not started at all. Mind you, you need to focus on the activities that are in progress first. See, make the changes and see the behavior before you know what next to do. You have to employ. So the first thing now you will need to do first is that we've removed the progress. Now we've identified the two activities that are in progress. There are two activities. We've removed the baseline, sorry. We've identified the two activities that are what in progress. So we will target the ones in progress. So these two that are in progress, we're going to insert new activities. New activities. So I click on this. And I add the second one as well. Second activity. Good. So I have two activities here that are in progress, this and this. So I don't want them to be far. I want them to be close to their brother, if I may use that word, close to the activities that they are representing. So this one should be close to spading. So the spading number is 10170. So I copy this, put that in here, and I just put an A in front of it. Then the next one, I want it to be close to this onboarding, because onboarding is the second activity. So I copy this onboarding as well. Okay. So this onboarding. We have it for how many percent? The onboarding said is 30%, right? Yeah, it's 30%. Let's check. Let's be sure. Let's be sure. So this fifth, all right, it's 30%. So what is left is the remaining 70%. So this first one is now 30%. So the number, so like I said, I'm bringing them close. So that takes it close to right again. So this is 30%. Right, this one, the first one is 50%. So this one is paid in 50%. The first is 50. This is second 50. Remaining is 50%. Oh, 50% remaining. Okay, so that's that. So I have this, I have this, I have these two. Now this first two, that are already in progress. That's this and this that are already in progress. I'm going to close them at 100% at this data date. Remember, we have these data dates. Yeah, I'm going to close them. So this, I'm closing it. And what is our data dates? Let's check what our data date is. 7th of October. So I'm closing them on the data date, 7th of October. So I close this at 100. 7th of October. And I'm closing the next one. This first 30%, I'm closing it to on the 7th of October. 7th of October. Good. That's done. So that is sorted. So I have these two new ones now. These two new ones, right? Those are the. Now I'm going to link. I'm going to link. So I'm going to link them. Link this one to their predecessor activity. That means this, because you need to link them. You're not just going to add those activities, but you're going to put in the relationship. So what do? I come to these activity details and I bring out or promote relationship. I promote relationships. Remember, we're going to use a lot of this later to align the schedule. So I have relationships and I click on it. So this activity is what I want to create the predecessor. So the predecessor will be this, the previous one. The previous one. So I'll assign. And it's going to start from my new data date. Remember, starting from my new data date. So the relationship is this. And the number is what? 1070. 1070. Good. Right? Then the predecessor of that activity will be this, because the former predecessor of this activity is what? The former predecessor of spading. The former successor of spading is what? On both valve 30%. That is the former successor. So this will now respect. So this one will have this as its predecessor. To have this 70% as its predecessor. Good. So if you check this now, it will have a predecessor. Correct. So then this second one, this one, the predecessor, it has got a predecessor, but you need to also link it to this. So I'm linking this and this, right? Onboarding and onboarding, I'm linking it together as well. Okay, so this method I use is just finish to start. Finish to start. So, but this, we need to give it a successor. So if you check what is the successor of this previous one, it's the successor is rig and remove. Rig and remove. So we're going to tie it now. This one to rig and remove. Rig and remove. Done. So if you check your rig and remove activity now, you're going to see that it has these two as the predecessor. So that's done. So let's click on F9 and see what it gives to us. So where does it land us? If you go in here and check, you'll see 4th December. Remember the date we are chasing. The date we are chasing is what? Is 2nd November. 2nd November. That means we need to take off 1 month from this schedule completely because the client only allowed 1 month for us as variance, as our as an extension of time. So how do we go about this? Now we need to look into these activities one after the other and see what can I do differently? Which activities are too high that I need to bring down? So you now need to first, like I said, you need to concentrate on your critical part activities. Critical part activities. And when you look at this, you see that all these ones are critical. All these activities you're seeing here, they are all critical. So now, so since they are all critical, you're going to look at the ones that have heavy, high duration, because we've checked there is no float, because you would have started with removing float, but there is no float. So you look at the ones that have high duration. How can you cut them? The ones that you can do concurrently. So let's see. Are there some that we can do concurrently? Look at this. Assemble verb, assemble actuator. This assemble verb and assemble actuator, can we do them concurrently? We can say they can finish at the same time, right? So if you check the relationship that we have here, it's finished to start. So we can say it is what finish with reassemble verb. So reassemble actuator can be what finish. And we saved 16 hours. Good. And let's check the impact on the overall. It has not moved. It hasn't moved, right? No, it has moved 2 days. It has moved by 2 days because we were at 4 before, but now it's at seconds. It's at seconds. So we're still progressing. Let's continue. Then the next is else can we do differently? Let's keep checking. This is measurements. This is okay. Looking at the duration. Your baseline duration. What was your baseline duration? Now here I have restore valve, torque and tension. So I can also run this at the same time as I am reinstalling this valve. Like I can say start with 5. So starts. So it's already start with 5. It's already start, so I can't change it. Rig and position and transport. Those ones cannot be changed at all. So I come to this, like I said, you look at the high duration. So this and this, I can cut down the duration. First, they are in the remove scaffolds. So one, I can put them as finish. Good. Then the next is that I can cut down on this duration. I can cut down on this duration. So I can give this for 15 hours. I can give this for 15 as well. Schedule. So we're at 28th November. Remember, we're looking at what? We're looking at 2nd of November. 2nd of November. What can we do differently? Let's still keep checking. So this, can we reduce this duration? This duration, can we reduce it? Machining, exactly. Machining, we're having 50 hours. Can't we do 50 hours is like 5 shifts? Can't we do this machining in 3 days? So change it to 3 shifts. So we can change this to 30. Right? And schedule. So anytime you change anything, you schedule to see the impact of what you have done. To see the impact of what you've done. So we're progressing. We're at 26th November. So we need to knock off 1 month from this. We need to knock off 1 month from this. So our speeding that we had 40 hours. Remember, we've used 40. So how can we be doing 40 hours? So we'll come back here. We can take this for 10 hours. Take this for 10 hours. Right. 10 hours. Hit your F9 and still check. So we're down to 14. You see? So the weight of our duration was on that one because we repeated the same duration even after some percentages of that work has been done previously. So we keep progressing. We keep progressing. Remember, you can also increase duration. So it's not always depending on what you have or what the scenario is. I'm using my own experience to yank off some of the duration because I know that most of those activities can happen concurrently. Good. So let's progress. We still have some more days to go. We have 12 more days to take out, or 10 days to take out from the plan. So let's keep checking. Let's keep checking. Um, so let's look at this space. I think we've looked here. It's not no, it's not gonna work. Reconnect 6 hours. Okay, this is not much. Displayed. Displayed 15 hours. So we can reduce this displaying. We can reduce this displaying to 10 hours, right? 10 hours. Good. Hit the scheduling button. Let's see where it lands us. We'll see how it has 14. We'll see how it has 14. We still have it as 14. So let's keep checking because we need to bring it down contractually. Contractor has said you have to bring it down. You have to bring it down. So we check activities that can happen concurrently. Check this machining also. Machining. We can still tamper with the duration of machining and say, okay, we'll change it to 10. We'll change it to 10. Let's see. Change it to 10. So what do I have? I have, so we've been brought back to 11. 11. So we remember we're going for second. Was going for 2nd of November. That's 2nd of November. Let's see if it's a weekend or if it's a weekend. 2nd of November. Or is a weekend, so we might have to go for 3rd. I have to go for 4th because it will have 2 days. We'll have to go for 4th of November because our calendar is just corporate calendar, which is Monday to Friday. So the other 2 days, so we're going for 4th. So now we're at 11th and we're going for 4th of November. So we have how many days to yank off? Let's continue. Let's keep looking. Let's keep looking. Remember, you can't go to anyone that has been, of course, they are progressed already, so you can't touch them. You're looking at the ones that. So let's check here. In this space. So here, after the spading, you have unbolting valve. Yeah, you have spading 50%, then unbolting valve. So what if these two can happen concurrently? So this and this can happen concurrently. So let's make them happen concurrently. So let's say this is start. This 70% input. So change it to start, and schedule it. Okay, so we are progress. So it's giving us 1 day. We keep moving, 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 we keep moving. Yeah. So we have a lot of hours here. I have a lot of hours. So let's look at dismantle valve. These are what optional hours. Dismantle actuator. Cleaning of the valve. Yeah, cleaning of. So here we can get half of the time. maybe increase the resource and just make the guys to work more. So this is good, 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 good. So we're doing very well. So let's look at our calendar. Let's look at our calendar. So we're supposed to have fourth. So we need to take off 3 days now. So we're very close. We're very close to our targets. We're very close to our targets. Very, 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 very close. Very close. So instruments reconnection, we can give that for 5 days. Seat and body text, we can give that. So instrument reconnection, we can give it for 5. Seat and body text, we can give it for 3. And give it for 3. And schedule it, let's see. Good. So where were we? So we have one more day. Am I right? Yeah, we have 1 day to go. 1 day to go. Dispading. So we've done that of the spading, right? Where is spading? Spading had 5 days. The spading, sometimes the spading is faster. So I can take the spading for 8. I can take these 2 for 12. Good. Exactly where. So we're still at 5. We're still at 5. We're still at 5. Then I'm feeling back because this ones are not driving the progress anymore. That's what it means. So I think this is the much we can go. We can't cut anything anymore in the duration. In the duration. So this is what we have. Let's see if there are other hidden hidden stuff that we could get. This and this are happening concurrently already, right? Finish, yeah. So they have been happening concurrently. Okay, they can be start to start. No, they can't. They can't be start to start. This is reinstate institution, then remove staffing. No, they can't be start to start. So it is where it should be. It should be. Stroke valve. So stroke valve, you can do that while this you can do start to start with dispading. With dispading of valve. So you can stroke valve while there. So we can do start to start then or do finish to finish. Let's make it finish here. So let's see if it gives us an impact. Save us the 1 day. It's looking like we can't go any further, any further. Rig, rig and transport, rig and remove valve. Transport to workshop. Okay, these ones. Then material confirmation. Okay, let's see if there's anything we could get from here. Material confirmation. And this carry out as found. Okay, they are start to start already. Carry out as found stroke tests. As found stroke tests. So we can make all of this start to start. Right? So while the people doing the stroke test with stroke checking and so everything just finishes at the same time. Starts to start. Okay. Okay. So we've been able to push the schedule till, so we have one more day, one more day. I'm still combing the schedule to see if there is something we can add where we can get some more duration to cut. So what I'm using now is the crashing method to just crash the schedule. Okay, let's use this. Our measurement is 3 days. Instrument connection is 5 days. So reassembly. So this instrument connection, um, then measurement is 3, then stroke test. So stroke test will put that as finish. Sit above, we'll put this as finish. Sit and body test, product that finish as well. So let's check. Good. So here we are. So we've gotten what we want, and this is as far what the now you're going to copy this project. You're going to copy it because you're not going to save it as a new baseline to see the effect of what we've done. You're going to copy this project, copy, paste. So to Primavera automatically creates and puts another number for you, yeah, like you have it here. So I'll go back now to this first one, open the project. Somebody will ask, how do you subsume an existing? Now, you just watch project, click on this maintain baseline. Maintain baseline, say add. Now, it is saying save a copy of the current project as a new baseline. No, we are not using this. We're going to use this, convert another project to a new baseline of the current project. So you say, okay, and it brings you, so you're taking that one that we copied here, fill that in, good, and it stays. So now we're going to display it. We want to display it to see if we are correct in what we did. So go to your project, assign baseline. Remember, we have two baselines. So the first one, your project baseline. So if you click here, you're going to have two baselines. You're going to have two baselines. So the project baseline is this. This is your project baseline, and you click on it. Then the next one is the second one. You display it as well, right? Okay. So now how do you display the two baseline? Because we're seeing the same thing. This is supposed to be. So let's see. So we're going to bring in another. So go to your dates. We're looking at base BL1 finish. That's baseline 1. Then the other one is BL1 start. Okay. Apply. Okay. Oops. So let me, I've missed it. So let's go to assign baseline. So I have maybe L1 here. And here I have my normal baseline here. Good. Super, super, super. So this is the first baseline that we had that started from August 1st to this. And this is the second baseline. Remember the second baseline, your start date does not change. Your start date doesn't change. It is only the end date, because what it means is that this project started on this date and just along the line there was delay. Then another thing that is showing, that is worthy of note, they are the two activities we inserted. See them here. So in your first baseline, it wasn't there. So that's why you're having here as empty, right? But in your second baseline, they are there. So this is showing what you did now and everything you did with all the changes that happened. This is what is showing. This one is showing you the initial state before the revision was necessitated. I hope this helps someone. I hope it helps you in makes it easier now for you to revise your plan. Remember in this one that we did that I just showed to you here, we didn't tamper with anything on progress or the resources. We didn't touch the resources. We only worked with it because we are not, in this case, we did not, our assumptions does not include that we are changing resources. So in my next video, I'll be teaching us how to use resume assumption. Remember here, I just used breaking up the activities. But in my next video, I will use resume and suspend option to show you how to do the same thing, how to revise a plan using suspend and resume option in Primavera. Hope this helped. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so that anytime we drop new videos, you're able to be notified. Thank you. Bye.